Namaste. I am Dr. Manoj Gumbar, consultant nephrologist and transplant physician. In continuation with the series of lectures to create awareness to prevent coronavirus spread, I'll be discussing upon the use of mask today. I'll discuss why and which mask to wear, the different masks and their differences, which mask a healthcare professional should wear, does shape of the respirator matter, are homemade masks effective, and what are the mask etiquettes and how to dispose of the masks. Dear friends, just to remind you that coronavirus is a dangerous virus and is fatal too. So we should all take the possible preventing measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Maintaining social distance is one of the most important of all the preventive measures, but each one has its own importance. Each one complements each other, and together, if we take all these precautions, we'll get rid of this virus. The first question, why wear a mask? The route of spread of this virus answers this question. It is person to person through respiratory droplets is the most common form of spread of this virus, and most of the masks are protective against at least droplets. Next is, why wear a mask continuously in public? We are in a stage of community transmission, and 70 to 80% of the COVID patients are without any symptoms. Even patients who become symptomatic, before 3 days, they maximally transmit the disease. So, you can accidentally come in contact with a person who emits the virus. So, you should be wearing a mask in public. Next is, why to wear a mask even after maintaining a distance of 2 meters? When we speak, cough or sneeze, particles come out. These particles take the form of droplets or aerosols. Usually the droplets coming out of the mouth while speaking do not travel more than 1.5 meters. But the droplets coming out while coughing and sneezing, they can travel beyond 2 meters. And along with droplets, aerosols too come out, which can float in the air for almost like 3 hours. So you should be wearing a mask even maintaining a social distancing of 2 meters. Next is, why healthcare professionals should be wary of aerosols. The aerosols generating procedures are endotracheal intubation, extubation, use of BiPAP, bronchoscopy, upper GI scopy. All these procedures are done on sick patients, and the doctors and healthcare professionals doing these procedures are very near to the mouth and nose of the patient. Sick patients emit virus in large quantities, and that is the reason doctors get infected, and it is these two reasons, the quantum of exposure and the recurrent exposure, increases the complications of COVID in healthcare professionals. Moreover, all the aerosol generating procedures generate droplets too. So, persons doing these procedures should be very careful, and they should use all preventive measures like use of proper PPE and use of a proper mask. Now let us know the variety of masks available. First is respirator. Respirator are tight-fitting masks designed to create a facial seal. They come in 2 forms, non-valved and valved ones. Non-valved ones are two-way protective, filtering both inflow and outflow of air, and they are designed to protect the wearer up to the safety rating of the mask. They are available in disposable form, half face and full face. The disposable is the dome-shaped N95 which we routinely use. Half face and full face masks should be used by healthcare professionals only. Half face and full face masks are more comfortable to wear and they prevent fogging during procedures. So, healthcare professionals should wear half face or full face mask while doing any procedure. Now, regarding mask standards. N95, N99 and N100 are American standards. Europe uses two different standards. FFP, that is filtering face piece, FFP1, FFP2 and FFP3, and P1, P2 and P3 ratings. China uses KN95. This respirator filter capacity is the removal or filter of at least X percentage of particles that are 0.3 microns in diameter or larger. FFP1 and P1 is 80%, FFP2 and P2 is 94%, N95 is 95%, N99 and FFP3 are 99, P3 is 99.95 and N100 is 99.97. That is, this much percentage of particles are minimal. This is the minimum standard of the particles which they filter. Now regarding comparison of different standards. N95 is equal to FFP2, N99 is equal to FFP3, N100 is equivalent to P3 and KN95 is equivalent to N95 or FFP2. Now all these standards are against 0.3 microns and the size of the virus is 0.06 to 0.14 micron. So 3M company did a research on 0.1 micron size particles using the N95 respirator and found that it is able to filter 94% of the particles even if the size of 0.1 micron. Similarly, Smart Filters did a research on even smaller particles, that is 0.007 microns. According to them, even the FFP1 rated mask was able to filter 96.6% of the particles of 0.007 microns and the size of coronavirus is 0.14 micron. Now, if I have an N95 mask, should I go for N100? The answer is no, because it is important to note that these standards only specify the minimum percentage of particles that the respirator filters. An FFP2 mask will filter at least 94% of the particles, but in practice it will filter around 94 to 99% of the particles. N95 masks are available in dome-shaped and duckbill-shaped with head elastics. Now, does the shape of the respirator matter? The answer is yes, because in a study done at San Francisco, a qualitative fit test was done for both dome-shaped mask as well as duckbill-shaped mask, and overall 38.2% of participants failed the fit test. 70.6% of duckbill-shaped mask failed and around 27% of participants using dome-shaped mask failed the fit test. It suggests that duckbill N95 mask have a high failure of facial fitness test and may be less effective than classical N95 mask of dome-shaped. Now, is the Chinese KN95 equivalent to N95? The answer is no. KN95 respirators are ear elastic looped and N95 had head elastic loops and are more comfortable to wear. Ear elastics have a weaker facial seal as compared to head elastic loops. and weaker facial seal masks can be less protective due to air leakage. So KN95 may be less protective and less safe as compared to N95 masks. The disposable N95 masks are available in two varieties, the valved ones and the non-valved ones. The valved masks have an advantage. They have an advantage of easier to exhaled air. They are more comfortable to wear and they create less moisture buildup inside the respirator. But they filter only the inhaled air. They do not filter the wearer's exhalation. This one-way protection puts others around the wearer at risk in a situation like COVID. COVID patients and healthcare professionals therefore should not use valved respirators. When anybody wears a valved respirator, put a triple layer surgical mask or a cloth face covering over the respirator to partially filter the exhaled air. The valved masks do not qualify to be considered as surgical masks. Even the common model 8210 N95 is considered as a surgical mask for coronavirus only. The classical surgical masks are 3M model 8160 and 8170 plus. Both these masks have qualified or cleared the resistance of penetration test by synthetic blood corresponding to velocities of human blood pressure 120 and 160 mmHg mercury. Now, are the respirators the saviors? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, if they are face fit and worn properly, and other measures are taken along with this. And no, if the respirators are not face fit, they are worn incorrectly. You are touching the front of the respirator and taking unnecessary exposure risk just because you are wearing a good quality masks. Next is, do we need to shave off our beard? The answer is yes, because the presence of facial hair leads to increase of the facial seal leakage by 20 to 1000 times. So with beard, both respirators and masks may not be effective. Now regarding triple layer surgical masks. These masks are loose fitting, covering the nose and the mouth. They are not designed to protect the wearer. They are designed for only one-way protection to capture the bodily fluid leaving the wearer. For example, when they are worn during surgery, they prevent the spillage of particles from the doctor to the vulnerable patient. And majority of these masks do not have a safety ratings assigned to them. They consist of 3 layers, 2 sheets of non-woven fabric sandwiching the melt-blown layer in the middle. This layer provides the filtering capacity made by melting a plastic, and they are also used in respirators. It is expensive and hard to come by the recent rise in demand. So whenever you choose a surgical mask, make sure the melt-blown layer is present. Note the presence as well as the thickness of this layer. It is this layer that has the filtering capacity. Now let us compare the triple layered surgical mask with respirator. FFP2, FFP3 or N95 and N100 are the gold standards. They provide two-way protection. Triple layer surgical mask is not designed to protect the wearer. So, is it going to be effective against the coronavirus? To study the effectiveness, a study was designed in US. The healthcare professionals were divided into 2 groups, one wearing N95 masks and other wearing surgical masks. And in a similar study, the nurses were divided in 2 groups, one wearing N95 and the other group wearing surgical mask. In both these studies, influenza infection events were noted and to the surprise, in both groups they were equal. And the conclusion was made that both N95 and triple layer surgical masks were equally effective in protecting the healthcare professionals from influenza events. One more study was carried out comparing triple layer surgical mask versus N95 respirator. This time the size of the particles was 0.007 microns. Surgical masks were able to block 80% of the particles and FFP rated 3M8812 blocked 96% of the particles. We anticipate surgical masks to be inferior to respirators, but studies suggest that they are not as inferior as one might assume. And these studies did not find significant difference between surgical masks and N95 respirators when protecting the wearer against influenza. These studies concluded surgical masks are approximately comparable to N95 masks when it comes to preventing influenza-like illness. Now, one can assume triple layer surgical masks to be effective against coronavirus too, as the size and the mode of the spread of influenza and coronavirus is similar. One more study was carried out to determine whether at all a mask is required to prevent the spread of influenza-like illnesses, and if at all they are needed, which one is a better one. In this study, 3 groups were weighed, one using a mask of N95, the other the surgical mask, and the third one with no mask at all. Influenza-like events were noted in these groups, and it was found that persons without any mask had 17% of influenza-like events, and in persons using the mask it was around 5%. And a conclusion was made that masks do prevent the spread of influenza-like illnesses. So friends, definitely coronavirus has the same size and the same mode as compared to as influenza-like viruses. So obviously using a mask is going to be helpful to prevent the spread of these virus too. Now comparing homemade mask with triple surgical layer mask against 1 micron particles. Using vacuum cleaner bag material and dish towel material, the efficacy was similar to that of surgical mask, but using them there was a difficulty in breathing. So 100% cotton t-shirt material and pillowcase material no doubt has efficacy less as compared to that of a surgical mask, but they are the best material for homemade masks. And the level of homemade mask is below that of triple layer surgical mask and respirators, but they are effective and they continue to be effective even after 3 hours of their usage. The advantage of homemade mask is you can alter the size of the mask, as one size does not fit for all ages. For adults, use 9 inches by 8 inches fabric. For 9 to 13 years of age, use 8.5 into 7.5 inch fabric, and for 5 to 8 years of age, use 8 inches by 7 inches of fabric. One more advantage of homemade mask is you can sterilize them easily. One way is use soap and water and dry them in sun for 5 hours. Other is pressure boil for 10 minutes. And if you do not have pressure boil facility, just boil for 15 minutes and let them dry. You can just use soap and water and use iron for 5 minutes to sterilize them. No mask is effective unless and until you use them with proper etiquettes. They are: sanitize your hands with soap and water or a sanitizer before putting on a mask. Place the mask on both mouth and nose and secure it tightly to minimize any gap between the face and the mask. After wearing an N95 mask, Do a fit check test. While in use, avoid touching the mask. Replace a damp mask with a new clean dry mask as soon as they become damp. Remove the mask by appropriate technique. Do not touch the front. Remove the lace from behind. After removal or whenever you accidentally touch a used mask, sanitize your hands. Do not reuse a single-use mask and discard single-use mask after each use and dispose them off immediately upon removal. Now, regarding disposal of masks. Both appropriate use and disposal is must to ensure masks are effective. We should avoid any increased risk of transmission associated with their incorrect disposal. Disposal masks to be disposed of immediately after use. For healthcare professionals, dispose them off in yellow bags. And at home, when masks are used by patients, caregivers or close contacts, first disinfect them with ordinary bleach and then you can burn or bury or dispose of them in plastic lined dustbins. Now, the same question again I am asking, why wear a mask? The answer is social distancing and mask together can reduce the intensity of this epidemic by 50%. So use a mask. Now it's the time for take-home messages. Social distancing is the best policy to prevent COVID, and you need to continue this even after wearing masks. All other precautions to continue while wearing a mask. Masks do offer a protection against the spread of COVID. Limit duckbill shaped mask use if alternatives are available. And an ill-fitted 95 mask may offer protection less than a properly fitted surgical mask, and for that matter, even homemade mask. Patients suffering from COVID-19 should wear a triple layer surgical mask. If you want to learn regarding the use and reuse of N95 mask, you can click on any of these links. I thank Dr. Sheetal, Dr. Akanksha Gumbar, Ms. Simran Gumbar and Ms. Arushi Gumbar for helping me in preparing these lectures. And a special thanks to the healthcare workers and officials, police departments, technicians and nurses, and to every person who is protecting himself or herself by taking necessary precautions. No doubt, Corona is giving us a challenge, but together, me, you and preventive measures, we will win. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong. Namaste.